Unsolved 2012. The case of 58-year-old Earl Warburton. Earl Warburton was assaulted during a robbery at his flat in Loampit Hill, Lewisham, at about 2:25 a.m. on the 15th of February 2012. He died about 15 minutes after receiving his injuries. He was described as a well-known character in the area and was said to have run a brothel called Madonna's from his flat above a barber's shop on Loampit Hill. He had also run another brothel in Plumstead Common. It was said that a number of men had come into his flat and demanded money, and that a violent struggle had taken place, during which Earl Warburton received his injuries. He had been in the flat with 4 prostitutes at the time when the men had come in, via a door usually reserved for clients. They then ordered the women to lie on the floor, whilst 2 men grabbed Earl Warburton and restrained him, and then dragged him into a bathroom. However, it was noted that he had put up a fight. The detective said, "He was seriously beaten around the face and head. Items such as a brick or a statue of a head may have been used to inflict these injuries. He was violently overpowered and subdued by his attackers, but not without some considerable resistance. We can see from the evidence that they have had to restrain him using duct tape and cable ties. Mr. Warburton was a fairly big man. The flat was also ransacked thoroughly. During the search, suspects demanded to know where the money was being kept. After searching the flat, the men fled and the women, after some time, got up and 2 of them fled and have never since been traced. The 2 other women then went to the bathroom and found Earl Warburton with blood coming from his head, describing him as looking like a sack of potatoes. One of the women, who didn't speak English, tried to call the police, but dialed 911 instead, whilst the other ran off to a nearby Tesco store and asked for help, and a night worker there went to the flat and tried to apply CPR to Earl Warburton. When the paramedics arrived, they described seeing blood run down his mouth, his eyes and face being swollen, and there being blood in his nostrils. Earl Warburton's post-mortem found that he had suffered from 3 key injuries: a head injury, a fractured nose, and a compressed neck. Traces of cannabis were also found in his system. It was heard that he had breathed in blood from his broken nose, but that he had also been unconscious from the blows to his head, and that along with his neck compression, all 3 of those factors contributed to his death. He was also found to have had defensive injuries. His inquest at Southwark Coroner's Court recorded a verdict of unlawful killing. He had lived in the Loampit Hill area for more than 20 years and had been known as Duke. Nothing more is known about who carried out the assault, or whether there are any suspects, and his murder remains unsolved to this day.